Happy Medicine, Meat Dog Guy, Creepy Dude, Child, Pedo, Lookalike, whatever you want to call me. They have all kinds of names for me on the internet. So yeah, like, my story is kind of different than Justin's. Like, I guess with me, it was like, my parents owned a karate school, and my dad used to always play Street Fighter in the arcade. And like, I would like sit in his lap while he was playing, and then I just, this mic. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like just press on the buttons and stuff, and like, I like really like Vega because he had like a claw and a mask and a snake tattoo. That's really cool for like a kid. And like, my parents said one of the first words to come out of my mouth was Vega.
That is righteous, dude.
So I just grew up. I don't remember a life without fighting games, honestly. Like, I just remember playing Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Samurai Showdown, World Heroes, like TMNT Tournament Fighters, the whole 9 yards. Just Darkstalkers, Fighters History, some of the crappiest games. Kids are amused by anything. You look back at some of these games like, wow, did I really used to enjoy that as a kid? And I would like sit on like a stool in the arcade, and I would do pretty good for like a 4 or 5 year old. Like, I knew like dial combos, and like my tactics back in the day were just like take throws with Vega, and I would just get like these adults like really mad. And like, it was a lot of fun. Just like, I used to like playing people and just like having like crowds cheer for me just as a little kid, but I'd never been exposed to like the real competitive scene. And it kind of got like to a point to where like I didn't know about the competitive scene, so like I just kind of didn't care as much. I started playing like card games and stuff until online play. And I think the biggest two things for me were hyper fighting on Xbox Live and Dead or Alive 4. Like, I didn't really like DOA 4 honestly as much, but it was the first game with like a decent netcode on the new generations. And also hyper fighting was like, it was okay. Like, I mean, I don't know if y'all played hyper fighting on Xbox Live. Like, you look back at it now, it was terrible. And people like Rage Quit had like 1,000 game win streaks. But it was cool to be able to play like real people and stuff. Like, that's when I first met people like Jason Cole and Dream TR. Like, and it's cool to see Stan Coop. Like, it's just so many people I can think of that like I like didn't meet till like 5 years later. But I still wanted more, like I heard about SRK and Evo and all that like around that time, and I didn't know there was an actual scene in my area until the funniest story. I was a huge troll on the forums, and I was just like trolling random stuff, and this guy gave me negative rep, and I was salty this guy gave me negative rep, so I clicked on his profile, and he was from Louisiana, so I looked at his post, and I was like, holy crap, there's a Louisiana friend. So I found it, and I was like, wow, they have all these players in my area. I had no idea people play fighting games around here. So like, I posted, I'm like, hey, yeah, I play fighting games and all this stuff. And this guy named Stone, Ken Masters X was his handle at the time. He like happened to live like 10 minutes from me, and he posted it in the thread. And I thought I like knew how to play like all these fighting games good. I was like hella feeling myself. Okay. So Stone like meets up with me and everything. I'm like dominating people on Xbox Live and like Fatal Fury Special and Ultimate Mortal Kombat. So I think I'm like great at everything. And Stone like plays me. He beat me so bad at like all these random games, and like I was like on like I was just. I need to watch my mouth here. I just got ranked. Like I did beat him in like some of the old school games that didn't didn't take combos like Hyper Fighting, ST, Fatal Fury Special. So like I had a little bit going for me, and I was okay at DOA. So, but for the most part, like he brought me to a gathering, and I got my butt whooped really bad. But it also opened my eyes up, and I don't like losing, so it made me want to get better, and I also had to decide which games I was playing, and I stuck with ST and DOA, and like I started doing really well with those, and like I started doing really well with DOA 4, but the game's lifespan just kind of, it was towards the end of the game's lifespan, so like Street Fighter 4 came out, and I was like, okay, everybody's gonna be playing this, I didn't plan on taking it too serious. I honestly was just gonna play it for, a couple months until the GameStop tournament happened, and I won the first round. I was like, whatever, everyone, it was just a local. And Stone was like, hey, because he qualified too, you want to go to the second round? It was like an hour away. I was like, sure. So we go to the second round, and I won that one. And I was going to go to final rounds, because there was like a DOA side tournament there. I was going to final rounds. I was like, wait, there's like a third round one, and it's at the same place, only an hour away. And if I win, I get a free trip to San Francisco to play in the Nationals. So, even though I had no confidence at all, I decided to play the crap out of that game for like 2 weeks. Like 8-10 hours a day, obsessively. And there's this one guy, shout outs to Killer Kai, like he thought coming to Louisiana was gonna be like a free trip to the national finals. So Killer Kai flies all the way from SoCal and comes to this qualifier, and like from what I heard, he was talking about going and get his free trip and free TE stick. So like I put in work to really learn the Ryu matchup, and I bodied him 3 straight rounds, and I won the trip to the finals, and it was just like overwhelming for somebody like me who was just like totally new to all of this. Like I was a homeschool kid, I didn't have much of a social life, so this was like such a huge thing for me to get to go and play in front of all of these people, and just going there, and that's where I first, when I met Justin at like Anime Mastery, like that's the first time I like really met Justin. And I also met like Jason Cole, Juicebox, Rasan, like so many players there, and Mike Ross, and it was like a really awesome experience. And after that, I was like, I got to see the game at another level as opposed to just Xbox Live, and that made me want to start traveling. And I had health issues that held me back, so I was a little limited. But I started putting in work, and it's like there's so many plateaus they have when you like get better as a player. Like you can start, like I started beating everyone in the South, and I was like, this is frustrating. So I went out of my way, tried to find some better players online. Then I started beating everyone. Then I found Sanford Kelly. Sanford Kelly destroyed me really bad with half the cast, and I was like, okay, I seriously need to rethink my game plan. So the next time me and Sanford played, I like recorded all the matches, and I started doing a little bit better, and like I actually looked over the matches, and there was a few other people that used to beat me that I felt like I was better than, but I didn't know the matchups, and I just didn't know the fundamentals of fighting games as well as I should, because I'd see like Justin just like make everyone in America look free, and it's like I know I can do this too. So like I started looking at videos, and like, it's like, I don't necessarily think X copying is the best thing without understanding it, but it's good to see a player of a higher level than you play the character efficiently and try to understand the mentality of them. So I look at videos and just pick up little bits and pieces and kind of add it to my own gameplay. I was like, oh, this was good. Why the heck did he do that? That doesn't make any sense. But if that made sense, so I'm gonna steal this and add it to my own gameplay and just mold it into my own play style. And over time, like I just started getting better, and like eventually, like it got to a point where I was beating everyone I played online too. So I was like, okay, and I'm beating people who like would like win and place consistently in majors. So I was like, okay, I have to go out to these things myself, because it's a totally different environment. Like I can beat someone 20-1 online, but I have to be able to do it when it matters. So I have to go out there and travel. And my first couple of majors, I did good, but I didn't do as well as I knew I could have. Like, I'd go in like money match rooms and just clean house, but you know, you got to do it when people are looking. And it's just, it started, like, I think the first couple I went to I did okay. Like, I had like 33rd, I think, in Evo 2011. I had, I made a top 8 in Winter Brawl 2011, but I got so salty because I lost a Wolf Chrome because I dropped the game-winning combo that I forfeited and didn't play my losers. I had the flu and I just didn't want to play anymore. I was so bad because like I usually would beat on one line and then I lost on something stupid because like I was nervous because of the pressure and I was just like, I'm done. But that's something I had to mature as a player. Like that was really immature of me to do that. Like you have to, everyone's gonna lose matches like that. You have to just kind of brush it off. And it's a similar situation you was there happened when I lost Ricky Ortiz off of me. Just like I got nervous and my body just stopped inputting, hitting anything, and then Ricky just like hit me with every gimmick in the book, and I lost like 95% life. And I was like, crap, that was my trip to the World Finals. So now I have to beat Wolfcrone again to get back there. How am I going to get my head back together? As I was saying, backtrack a little bit. I'm not as structured as him. Like obviously, I have less experience doing this, so bear with me. Thank you, Brittany. I'm gonna have more supportive. So, like, I did pretty good at like the next ones. I had like, I think like 9th in Devastation, and then like 17th in Season's Meetings, and I only lost to like really good players like Ricky Ortiz and Infiltration in close matches. And then I got, I think the biggest breakout tournament I had was Northwest Majors, when I went to losers first round to a Zangief with no sound, just spamming lariats and random ultras, then won 19 games in losers bracket to make it all the way to grand finals. And then I had 5th at NEC the next year. I lost to this guy, and you know, Kyle. If you're a Bison player, you know about that life. And then I started doing a lot better. Like I qualified for 25th anniversary. As many of you may know, I had a pneumonia and was unable to attend. But it was a good experience for me, and I started consistently getting a lot of top 8s after that. So it's one thing I'd say is don't ever, like, no offense to my local scenes, but like they're not as strong as other areas, and some people in lesser populated areas might feel like that, like they don't have much competition, and sometimes they go to bigger tournaments and feel overwhelmed. Don't ever let that happen. When you go to the bigger areas with more skilled players, you're gonna get blown up. Like it's not always gonna go how you want it to go. Like just always try to understand everything that happens in a match. Like understand why you lost, understand why you were put in this situation, understand how you got in the situation, understand how they put you in the situation. And just one thing I highly recommend is looking over your own matches. Like don't stress too much over it, because then it's going to take the hobby out of it. But I do suggest like at least try to treat it like a mixture of like a sport and like say fun school, you know, like you failed the test, you gotta figure out what you did wrong to get it right the next time, and you just gotta look over it and eventually just take little pieces, like look what you did right there. Okay, so I was doing this good at this point in the match, how did I get in this situation? So just it takes time. You just have to look over it and eventually it comes to you. What's up, Brady? Huh? Oh, thank you. I'm glad an attractive female loves my face. It really builds my confidence. I feel great right now.
Of course, you have no fans anywhere.
Wait, what? I have like 400 something subscribers on Twitter. After the Photoshop pictures you showed me earlier, they're not bad. They're just a little creepy.
Yeah, yo, shout out to Cammy Nguyen, alright? Like, I'm putting her on blast right now.
Scrubs!
Cammy Nguyen, yo, she works with Sanrio. And she's like hella esports, so she's gonna pick on a scrub like me, man.
Well, we are getting close to time.